Hi guys, so one of my big goals this year was to add a lot of vertical growing space to the garden. I wanted to be able to grow pole beans and vining squash and also flowers. I wanted to provide better airflow around them, better access for maintenance, for pruning and harvesting, and hopefully better pest management, which will ultimately allow the plants to be healthy and more productive for a much longer period of time. In this video, I'm going to share with you the various trellising systems that I've set up, what I'm growing, and how they're doing so far. I'd like to welcome you to my backyard Kentucky homestead. My name is Kim, and let's get started. So the first one you can see is right behind me. This is an arch, 3-section arch that I got off Amazon. It did not come with any trellising fabric for it. So what I got were two 50-foot rolls of about 5 foot tall wire mesh fencing. And then we just went ahead and tacked it down on one side with zip ties, threw it over, and then tacked it all over the place. I mean, we zip tied the crap out of this to get it really, really sturdy, and it's really going to work well for us. So, coming a little closer, it really made a sturdy structure. It's into the ground, so it's seated very well. So we'll come in here for a closer look. I do need to put the, whoops, up there. I do need to put the edge cover on this bed still. But we have the purple Italian pole beans in the back, and they will just grow up the trellis very soon. So we have onions, we have 3 different types of determinate tomatoes. Our one and only loofah is right there. I might need to look at that. That looks a little spotty. We have our determinate tomatoes, we have our onions, we have some basil, which if you're planting tomatoes anywhere, I would highly recommend basil. They do a really, really good job with keeping tomato hormones away. And then on this side, we have a pepper that I started inside, 3 more determinate tomatoes. We have purple and green tomatillos, and I also need to get that edging put onto the bed. We're really doing well. I had a really difficult time getting the loofah to germinate. Stupid hazelnut tree. I have added more loofah over here, but I've had 2 different types, 2 different seed packets from 2 different companies, and I've only gotten 1 loofah to grow. I'm a little frustrated with that. This is a Gale's golden pippin, or golden honey. The Gale's golden pippin pepper that I started inside. And it didn't fruit inside, but it has fruited since it's come outside. So over here we have A-frame style trellis, which again, it did come with that fabric netting, but I wanted to have a more sturdy structure for the plants to grow up. So we went ahead and put that on that fabric, the wire mesh fencing on this one as well, and then just zip tied it. I really do like this structure. I got a different one. I thought it was the same, but it's a little different. Not quite as happy. It is wider. I'll show that to you here in just a second. But I really like this one. It's very sturdy. It has 3 bars on each side, as well as 3 across the top and 1 crossbar. So we're really, really happy with this one. And then for what we're growing on this one, we have the Rampicati zucchini, so Italian zucchini. It will grow up. And on that side, we have Mayflower pole beans. And they are just actually starting to vine up. That's good. Yay. And then we'll just work these up as they grow a little bit taller. But you can see right here, it's just starting to vine up the pole. So that's awesome. And that is a drawing bean. Over here we have the Kukuzu squash. I've got 2 squash plants and they will grow up this trellis. And I need to go ahead and get something planted for that side. So this is the one that was not exactly what I thought it was going to. It wasn't exactly like that one. It is wider, but I had a lot more trouble getting it to stay together. And I did actually have to add a 3rd pole on each side to stabilize it a little bit more. They were poles that I used on my big 8-foot trellis for my tomatoes last year. It is wonky as all get out. Part of that is because of the angle of the yard. It actually goes out that way. But part of it is this. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this one. I do like the other. I have 2 of the other ones like that set up. I really, really like those. This one's like, yeah, but it'll work. And let me show you what we have planted on this. So on that side, we have the Hunter butternut squash. And then on this side, we're trying to grow the honey baby. It's a really small honey nut squash. I'm not sure. I'm having trouble getting stuff. Oh, no, there's one there. There is one. So I had to reseed that section. do have a couple plants growing, and then there's a couple more that are just starting to come up because I had to reseed those. In the front, we should hopefully have some Jacob's Code Amaranth, and then over there we have the Maxibel Haricot green beans. So on this side we have the Dragon's Tongue pole beans, and in the front we have a Musqué de Provence squash. It is a Machado squash. And then on this side, again, more of the dragon tone beans, which they are also just starting to vine up the trellis. And over here we have Gill's Pippin, Gill's Golden Pippin squash. I did actually get some of those last year. Overall, they're pretty good. So let's go to the other. Nope, there's one more here actually. So in this bed, I have 6 different parthenocarpic cucumbers. Okra along the back, which is not looking great. I may need to reseed that. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to use these A-frame trellises to grow the squash. I'm going to cover the whole thing with the black insect netting, which I will get up this weekend. So hopefully this works, and hopefully we'll get some some cucumbers, because I have no luck growing cucumbers. It's horrible. So I have several of these kind of Gothic arch trellises. They're kind of zigzag. And we got clematis growing on this one. But I got these at clearance for really, really cheap last year at Meijer. Got a couple of lights, little doodads. I just killed the light. This clematis is absolutely gorgeous. That one's fading out, and it's had several more, but it keeps growing. I have another one of those there, but I haven't got anything growing up on it yet. So this is one of 4 arch trellises that I have, and what I have on this one right now sort of are the sugar snap peas, and they are covered in blossoms. So we should have some sugar snap peas here in the next week or so. And what I've got in grow bags beside that are black-eyed Susan vines. They may have just started sprouting, so we're going to keep an eye on that, keep them watered in. And then once the sugar snap peas are done, we'll pull those out and replace the bags with the black-eyed Susan. This should be really, really pretty. And what I may do actually is add some type of horizontal cord or something, so it makes it a little bit easier for these vines to grow up, because the peas didn't do really great with this particular setup, but I think we could fix that. We have a lot of flowers on our sugar snap peas, so we should have some very soon. So along the back fence I have 4 of the rectangular vertical trellises. The one on each end of it has a climbing hydrangea, and the 2 in the center have clematis. So this is a climbing hydrangea. It's putting on some growth. It's a very slow grower. This clematis here is not doing well, so I'm going to replace it with one I got on clearance at Lowe's. So it should be beautiful. Try to get that done this weekend if it doesn't have a monsoon. There's a whole lot more stuff, bushes that I got on clearance last year, and perennials as well, that I'm going to be planting hopefully up this weekend. This is the other clematis. It's doing great. And then the other climbing hydrangea is back there. So it has a piece to cut out, but I wanted to make sure the rest of it was pushed toward the vine, so I kept that there for now, but we'll probably trim that out here maybe this weekend. So this is the second of the arch trellises, and what I've got is Job's Tears as well as cypress vine and grow bags on either side of that, so that should grow up and be beautiful. And then I've got a number of perennials to stock, antique stock. A lot of the things I started from seed weren't quite ready to put in the ground if they were perennials. So I've had to put a lot of stuff into grow bags to grow it up a little bit bigger. so that I could successfully transplant it. For my indeterminate tomatoes, I'm using these 6.7-foot trellis, Obelisk Trellises. They're very sturdy. I used these last year, really liked them. Actually transferred from a tall 8-foot string trellis that I used the past 2 years to just using these this year because it was so much easier to set these up. We're really happy with them. Very sturdy. The tomatoes will go right up through them, and it'll just be so easy to work with that. Yeah, some spiders going on here. Maybe we need to take care of that a little bit. Tomatoes are doing great. We also have whole beans in here. The other side we have onions and peppers. So far, everything's doing pretty well. So in the center of the garden, we've added this kind of gazebo trellising. I got it off of Temu. Really happy with it. I've got some solar lights on the center of it. And then I've added some sweet peas on two sides. They're miniature sweet peas. And then on the front and back, I've added nigella. I think one is lemon mist mulberry, and the other one is lemon mist Jekyll mix. So hopefully these will be really gorgeous. They are one of the most ethereal looking flowers I've ever seen. Absolutely gorgeous. We're really excited. I do have sugar. I do have sweet peas that I'm trying to grow. They're not growing that well, so I'm not sure it's going to work. So on the outer basket, I have lavender puff in each of them. This one I have snail vine, butterfly queen lavender, royal purple nasturtium. That one over there has their Job's tears and also lavender puff. In the center right now, I have Mexican torch sunflowers in the center. I have cosmos on the front and back. And on each side, I have 2 bags of zinnias. So really excited about those. So over here, I have 3 grapes that we've added. They seem to be doing very well. I do need to go ahead and get some T-post. And I'm going to be putting up a galvanized wire trellis system for those so that they can grow vertically and horizontally and vertically. That's to come soon. So this is the other frame that I got, similar to the first one we looked over at the back of the other side. It has the 3 bars and the one across, so I really do like this one. On this side right now we have sweet peas growing as well as some butternut squash. And have some kind of pole beans growing over here. I have forgotten what I planted, and I think some more squash in the back. So really excited. Once the garlic and potatoes are out, then we'll be able to replace that. Whoa! It dips down right there. So once the potatoes and the garlic are done, we'll be able to replace those with some more, especially the sweet peas as well. We'll be able to replace those with a lot more vining crops, and then put some more squash or something, some other summer crops in there. But really happy. And again, we did the wire mesh fencing. So once again, we did the wire mesh fencing up and around, and we just did one section all the way around, and then just zip tied it. So I will link all this below, or at least where I got it from. The frame came from Temu, fencing came from Temu, but you can get both from Amazon, and the fencing you can get just at Lowe's or Home Depot. They have that as well. So it's really easily available. So this is another one of the Gothic trellises, and I've just transplanted this clematis here. And I think it's had some shock. It's not doing super great. Hopefully it'll pick back up. And then around it, I added some Lisianthus. So last year I started 150 Lisianthus seeds, and I ended up with about 10 or 12 plants, maybe 15. This year I started less, and I got so many that I was like trying to give them away. It's like, please take these home with you at work. And other places like, please just take this home. I've got too many. So I've got multiple pots around the garden with Lisianthus, so it should be absolutely gorgeous here in a few months. But so this is one of the spots where they ended up, and we'll just see how it goes. All right. So this is the front of the garden, and on either side of this arch trellis, I have Scarlet Runner Bean and Sunset Runner Bean, which should grow up. Again, I might add some horizontal string or something for them to grab onto easier, but they are just not to the point where they're getting ready to grow up. So this is the front trellis going into the backyard, and on either side I have 3 different kind of morning glories. I have red and blue picotee, and then also Milky Way, which is a white with a little bit of a pink accent. So really excited to see these grow. Hopefully they will fill in the trellis and be beautiful. I mean, I'm dealing with some spider mite issues. They hit my peach trees really hard this year. So we're keeping those a little isolated, spraying them down with some dead bug brew, and hopefully they will recover and leaf back out. We won't get any fruit this year, but hopefully they'll releaf and then they'll survive. We'll have to see. Gardening is just a gamble. You just never know for sure what you're going to have to deal with. But one thing that is doing fabulously well are these peonies. Look how massive that is. It's huge. Absolutely gorgeous. This is their 3rd year. All right, that's it. So we're back where we started, and those are all the various trellising systems that I'm using right now. I may redo the blackberry and raspberry trellis that are real simple with just paracord around that. I may switch out over to the galvanized steel as well. We'll have to see. But anyway, thank you for joining me. If you're interested in more of the gardening stuff I'm doing, check out this video. And until the next time, I wish you happy gardening, and bye.